Hey Internet, Eric here. Taking a quick break from the Leprechaun series because recently I was a guest on the Graveyard Shift podcast. I've mentioned these guys before. I was over a year ago. I was a guest on episode 25 where I sat down with the hosts Sheldon and Mike, and we discussed the movie Poltergeist from 1982. Great podcast, very funny, not politically correct. Just a really fun way to kill an hour to 90 minutes. They sit down. They have a certain horror film they're going to talk about. They give their likes, dislikes, and what have you. And recently, one of the hosts, Sheldon, was not able to make the episode, and Mike messaged me up and he asked if I could do an unplanned, not really emergency, but could I fill in for Sheldon? I said sure, no problem. He told me what film will I be watching, and I watched it and we discussed it on the podcast. It should be up now, I think. But then I asked him. I said, dude, I gotta talk about this. Do you mind me discussing it on my channel as well? He's like, nah, no problem. So today, I'm talking 1997's Jack Frost. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do discuss plot spoilers and specific scenes, so watch at your own risk. Wow. Okay, this came out in 1997, I said. Basic plot is Hold on, let me set this here so it don't fucking fall. Alright. Serial killer Jack Frost has been captured, and he's being transported to his execution during a blizzard. And of course, he doesn't make it to his execution because there was a crash between the transport vehicle and a vehicle carrying some various chemicals. Jack is hit with these chemicals. He melts, and his DNA is basically melded with the snow in the area. He comes back to life as a fucking killer snowman and is terrorizing the town and ultimately is going after the cop that put him away. Okay, first off, it's a movie about a killer snowman. So you have to have a certain mind frame going into this. It's like watching Leprechaun or Sharknado or Howard the Duck. You can't just go into this film without that, going through your head what type of film it is. And I know it's got the critics hated it. It's got like 7% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's sort of got like a cult following. So I thought, you know what, this could be a lot of fun. And you know what, I had a fucking blast with this film. Far from perfect, but my God, I had so much fun. First off, oh man, it no one's gonna win an Oscar in this film, but that's fine. But this film is so self-aware. It's so self-aware of what it's about. It's so self-aware that it has zero budget, and it runs with it. The guy who plays Jack in his human form, he is stereotypical bad guy. Smoking a cigarette, evil eyes, scars on his face, over the top, and it's great. I love it. And then when he gets melted in this really cool effect. You see that he gets hit with the chemicals and his face starts peeling, and then he falls to the ground, and as his body's melting, the sequence turns into an animation sequence where you see his blood turn into like ice crystals or snowflakes or stuff like that as it seeps into the snow. You know what you're getting into right away. And when he gets reborn or whatever, that's another thing that I really love about this is because the no budget Jack as a snowman looks like crap, but I love him. He looks more so like a gingerbread man than a snowman. He's just all white. His hands look like mittens, like a gingerbread man would be, and it's just so much fun because it's so bad. and Jack is killing people in creative ways while throwing out one-liners, and it's just a lot of fucking fun. We'll get to the kills. Some of them are pretty brutal. I love the scene with the woman and she is killed in front of her Christmas tree. She literally has her face slammed into different ornaments, and it's like a great shot, like from behind, and you see Jack's fucking mitten. I'm gonna call it a mitten, slamming her face up and down in these ornaments, and he raises her mouth, her head up. You see the ornaments stuck in her face. Then I think he strangles her with the Christmas light. Pretty brutal. There's another scene where he kills a kid and he's shooting like icicles out of his hands. Um, he literally takes an axe and he shoves it down the throat of a guy. And I don't know if they did it on purpose, but as the guy falls down, you don't see the axe handle out the back. So that's another thing to laugh at, because it is one of those so bad it's good, but it's also so bad it's fun with that stuff. Like when he kills the guy with the axe, he said, "I was only axing for a smoke." There's a scene where Jack gets melted, I think with a bunch of hair dryers, of course. And when he comes back to putting himself back together, like his head's over where his arm is, and he's like, "Look, Ma, I'm Picasso." Just stupid shit. He gets hit and his head flies over the air in the air, and he says, "I can see your house from here." Stupid shit like that. Um, yeah, it's the Jack character is so much fun. Um, the characters overall though, like the main characters, nothing special. Like the sheriff, he's just the typical nice sheriff. Um, he's got a son that is just there for, because he does something to help kill Jack. I won't get into that. Um, but everyone else is just meh, except for Shannon Elizabeth. Yes, Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie and from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, scary movie. I believe this was her first film. She's in this, and she's probably the worst actress in this film. She's there just to look pretty, and that's the problem with her. I've never been a big fan of her. Didn't like her in Scary Movie. She was awful. Jay and Silent Bob. She was just eh. And here she's horrible. Her acting is bad. She can't even flirt in a sexy way with her boyfriend, because after her brother is killed, she wants to have sex with her boyfriend in the sheriff's house because she thinks that's going to be like revenge sex, because they think that the sheriff's son killed her brother. That's a totally stupid idea, but that's how absurd this movie is. And she does take off her clothes and she does look nice naked, but that's about it. Her death her death is something to behold, because now she's literally, well, here it is. Here's how it is. She thinks her boyfriend has run a warm bath for her to get her in the mood, and he's already been dispatched by Jack in a really cool way. The icicle thing through the from the hands, and God, this it looks so like shit. She's in the bath and it's warming up, and suddenly it gets really really cold, and like his nose, like the carrot nose, pops up out of the water, because Jack has the ability to go back and forth between snowman form and the form of water. So he was the bath, and as he's coming, he's taking form, and she is covered in snowflakes or whatever, but it looks like styrofoam. And then eventually she is killed by snowman rape. It's I'm not laughing because it's rape. I'm laughing because it's so absurd to see Shannon Elizabeth raped to death by a snowman, and then she's then thrown on the ground. He takes a pipe and smokes it, and then asks if he should send her flowers. That's the type of film you're working with. I mean, and it's not making light of rape, but it is making light of rape. But it's one of those scenes that has to be seen to be believed. Um, Another thing I really like, some of the writing, some of the jokes. That's not just Jack giving out one-liners. There's some creativity. one of the first victims of Jack is an old man, and he's in a rocking chair, and the sheriff and the deputy are looking at him, and he's dead. He's like kind of zombified. You see the chair rocking back and forth, and the sheriff is talking to the deputy, and he's saying what happened, and then suddenly he looks at the deputy and he tells the deputy, "Can you please stop rocking that chair?" And he's, "Oh, sorry, sir," and he stops, shit like that, and then I mentioned Shannon Elizabeth's brother was killed. Her brother was decapitated by like a sled because he was bitch slapped by Jack the Snowman, and an unmanned sled came down the hill and literally decapitated him. It is what it is. Go with it. And then in the next scene, um, the sheriff's son is believed to have been the killer. You know, the townspeople are blaming him because they're not going to believe, you know, that, oh, the snowman attacked Billy or whatever the fuck the bully's name is. And then this is great because you see the body being taken away in a body bag and literally in like a clear plastic bag. You see them carrying the head. And they're saying, well, my son couldn't have killed your boy because your boy is like 2 feet taller than my son. And then just in the background, you hear someone yell, "Not anymore, he's not." Just funny shit like that. I love the use of the low budget. There's a scene where they find out how to defeat Jack. They have to use antifreeze, okay? So, I mentioned there's going to be some spoilers in this. Eventually, they get Jack into the bed of a pickup truck filled with antifreeze. You know, the sheriff grabs Jack and he throws him in the back of the bed of the pickup truck. And they come out of a window, okay? And you can see the stunt, and it's kind of nice. It's a nice, you know, jump out of a window into the back of the truck. But you see, when they splash, you can tell that the snowman was inflated because you can kind of see it just go, it pop up like that, you know, inflate. And then as the snowman is melting, you see the sheriff just wrestling around with the body, and he's just doing his damnedest to make it look like he's fighting this fucking thing. And it reminded me of in Ed Wood. Martin Landau playing Bela Lugosi, and he's wrestling with, like, you know, the octopus that isn't working and making it look like that. Just so much fucking fun. Now here's the thing: is if you can make it through the beginning, like my buddy Mike sent this to me, and I watched the first like 17 seconds just to make sure the file he sent me worked, and I'd already said fuck you, Mike. And the reason why I said fuck you, Mike, is because it starts off with just a voiceover of like an uncle or a grandpa talking to a little girl, and a little girl wants to hear a funny, scary story. And it's not, and then he tells the story of Jack Frost. But the problem is you have this voiceover, and it's obviously done by someone who is not a little girl, but she's talking like this, and you can tell it's someone doing an impression like that, and she's saying, instead of saying, please, she says, please tell me the story. And it's grating, it's horrible, it's stupid. If you can get past like the first 2 minutes, you'll have fun for the rest of the fucking film. Other than Shannon Elizabeth sucking. Soundtrack is basically just a bunch of Christmas carols. I think it's because of the no budget, and they're probably public domain. But I got annoyed by that because every time something happens, like a murder happens, you have a Christmas song thrown in there, and to me it was just overkill. But if you like Christmas music, that might be your cup of tea. Although it did end with "Oh Holy Night," I believe, sung either as a rock song or as a metal song by the guy who voiced Jack Frost. Oh, and speaking of how shitty the snowman looked, which I loved, there's a scene where Jack wants to bite the head off a guy, and literally his mouth opens up and he gets icicle fangs, and he looks like, you know, a Pac-Man, just like this, and it's just so much fun. He gets it. He goes inside someone's body, and the guy pukes him up, and you can tell it's like, I don't know if it's just shaving cream or what. He just, his mouth is open like that, and you can tell like it's the someone. He's got a tube on the side of him, and it's just going out like that, like a fire hose. So over the top, so goofy, so stupid, so much fun. Um, I had a fucking blast watching Jack Frost. I want, and the thing is, there is a second one. I had so much fun watching Jack Frost. There is a second one, and the thing is, I watched the trailer for the second one. It looks like it has half the budget of the first one, which is so it probably has the budget of like $2.50. But the thing is, I had so much fun, and it looks really dumb. Like I don't want to watch it dumb. But the thing is, I had so much fun with Jack Frost. It makes me want to find out what Jack Frost does next to go after this cop and his family, especially since they're in the tropics. A killer snowman in the tropics. That's fucking awesome. So, stay. So yeah, not that much I can nitpick about this movie. Other than Shannon Elizabeth really sucking. And then that opening scene with like the fake voices, so horrible. But other than that, I had a fucking blast with Jack Frost. Love the shitty design of Jack. Love the over the top human Jack. The one liners are pretty fun. I love the creative kills. You have a what the fuck snowman rape death scene. Um, so self aware. The town itself with no budget looks like fucking Santa's village, like with just candy canes everywhere, and it's a sight to see. If you like movies like Howard the Duck and Sharknado, Leprechaun, any of those type of stupid films, check out Jack Frost. Now that glare is really fucked up, but check out Jack Frost, 1997. Not the one from 1998 with Michael Keaton. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell, all that jazz. I'll be getting back into the Leprechaun series after this. I just wanted to throw this out there for not necessarily a Christmas horror movie or Christmas movie in general, but a winter movie. This will definitely be in my rotation. Maybe not yearly, but every now and then I will throw this in if I want to watch a good winter horror movie. Had so much fun. It was a very, very pleasant surprise. I got some more winter movies coming up. I think I'm going to talk about Santa's Sleigh. I know the wife wants to do White Christmas, and we might do the Black Christmas remake. No promises. But yeah, check out Jack Frost, 1997, not 1998. Cheers, and well, it ain't fucking frosty.